everyone and welcome back to the DM side. Now, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more content, as well as comment down below your current thoughts on these new class changes. And remember, it's playtest material. None of it is locked in stone just yet, so try it out, give the feedback, and let's build the best foundations for brand new players. With the new One DnD playtest material out, we learned that not only are spells being sorted into brand new tables, but also the classes are being put into what are called class groups. We have the expert group, we have the mage group, the priest group, and the warrior group. This playtest material gives us access to the expert group, which is the rogue, the ranger, and the bard. An important thing to note about the ranger, however, is that though it's part of the expert group, it is going to somehow be allowed to have benefits or abilities that are going to be introduced into the warrior group, which I'm very excited about, seeing as the ranger really is a bit of a fighter/rogue mix that has ranged abilities. One of the most important things to know is that the expert class has access to the expertise ability that the bard and the rogue get at level 2. So now the ranger also gets it, which is a massive buff for them, and they totally deserve it, because the amount of times that I've had to multi-class into rogue just really to get that buff, it's kind of annoying knowing that it should be something that they get anyway. So really good improvement already there right off the bat. Bardic Inspiration is now a reaction and can be used on any D20 test as usual. However, bards can use it to heal in a tight pinch. So now you can do a reaction heal, basically, when somebody takes damage, using your Bardic Inspiration and rolling that for how much health they get back, which is a really awesome little addition to the Bardic Inspiration. At second level, bards gain access to healing magic, getting Healing Word. At level 4, they get Lesser Restoration, and it grows from there, meaning that they are still keeping that support role their own way of healing, not only to mention their Bardic Inspiration, but also having access to these spells. You can see that the spells themselves are going to be on the Divine list, which I don't think the bards will have access to, and so they want to make sure that they still have that support role side that they've always had. Bards prepare spells now, which I absolutely love. I think it's fantastic that they can now swap them out each day. It's almost like learning a play, learning a script, learning a song, is that they can study that and then relearn the spells they need for the day, which is a really good addition. Jack of all Trades is now bumped back to level 5, which is a bit of a shame, and you lose your counter charm. And on top of that, at level 7, when you get your font of Bardic Inspiration, that's when you can regain your Bardic Inspirations after a short rest, whereas before then, it's only at a long rest. So a little bit of tweaking here, a little bit of tweaking there. Something's taken, something's given. It's very interesting, but it's not too bad. As well as magical secrets now pushed from level 10 to level 11, you still get 2 spells, but it's a bit more particular. So the 2 spells are from any list. What you do is you pick one of the 3 lists, Primal, Divine, Arcane, and you pick 2 spells that you can now have and prepare. And at the end of each day, you get to re-prepare those spells off of the list. So you get to pick anything off that list. The thing is, you're trapped to that list. So if you pick Divine spells, then you can only swap out on the Divine list for those 2 slots. Whereas later on, as you get stronger and you get your next buff for your magical power again, you get 2 more, but you have to pick a different spell list. So you can't get 4 on one list, it's only 2 on a list. So it's a little bit restrictive, but also encourages you to spread out your knowledge as a bard. One of the big changes for the lore bard is that they've lost their magical secrets. So you don't get to pick your spells again. So now rather than having 3 lots of it, it's only 2. And I assume it's basically because there are 3 spell lists, so you're pretty much locked into the last 2 by the time you hit level 15, and then you have the other one, the arcane one, because that's what you are as a bard. Moving on to the ranger. Now rangers also have prepared spells, but the biggest thing for them is Hunter's Mark. Hunter's Mark is now a spell that they're given. You don't have to pick it. On top of that, it's not concentration, and it just lasts for the duration of the spell or until you are incapacitated, which is huge for rangers. Every ranger gets it, and I think it's one of the most important things because it is their most used spell, and later on they also use it for everything else. As mentioned before, though they aren't warrior class group, they also are able to have access to the fighting style features which are specific to the warrior class group or to certain groups. So it's really nice that they've gone, hey, we know that rangers are also basically really good fighters, and they also have these really niche skills like the rogue, so we're going to put them with the rogue and the bard as expertise, as experts, but we are going to make sure that we give them access to warrior type abilities because they are fighters as well. One of the big things that rangers get at level 7 is called roving. It's now where they gain a 10 foot to their speed as well as a climbing speed and a swimming speed. I think it's really good because they're building the ultimate sort of hunter. Rangers aren't just druids, they are battle master druids almost. Tireless is back and I am all for it. After a short rest or a long rest, you gain temp hit points of 1d8 plus proficiency bonus, and you lose a level of exhaustion after a short rest as well. And in the glossary, it does say that exhaustion actually goes up to 10 levels now. So I wonder how easy it's going to be to gain exhaustion for this ability to actually be really useful. At 13th level, you can turn invisible by using a spell slot and a bonus action, and 15th level, you get the Feral Sense, giving rangers blind sight. The Hunter's subclass has changed a little bit, and I do like it. The Hunter's Prey has changed and is just basically the Colossus Slayer. You do a d8 extra damage as long as what you're attacking has already taken damage, opposed to having the other two effects it did have. But there is a brand new ability called Hunter's Law, which I absolutely love, and I think it's 6th level, and you gain access to the knowledge of your opponent's vulnerabilities, their resistances, and their immunities, because you are the hunter and they are the prey, obviously, and as long as you have them connected to your hunter's mark, which we now know is way better, not needing concentration. Finally, we have the rogue, and the rogue is a fantastic class. It's probably one of the most favored ones in terms of build throughout all of them. I think they said they had like a 90% plus success rate or approval rate from fans who had done a survey to talk about what they thought about all the races. Now, it has been nerfed ever so slightly, and I don't know if it'll stick with the sneak attack. Currently, sneak attack allows you to get your sneak attack off on opportunity attacks, reactions, and on your turn. Whereas the new sneak attack only lets you get it once on your attack. So you won't get opportunity attack, sneak attack, and you won't get it on any reactions as well. So that's a bit of a nerf, but it's not terrible. Now the Thief subclass is the one that we get in this playtest material, and I love it. I think it's really, really cool, and it's only got 2 major changes that I think are just awesome. It feels very fine-tuned almost, actually. Not major, they're big enough for me to notice and go, that's cool. The first one is your second story work now gives you the ability to use your dexterity modifier opposed to your strength modifier when you are making the jump action, and you get a climbing speed, which is awesome and makes a lot of sense for a thief. Next after that is my favorite one, which is your use of magical items. This has changed to now give you 4 attunement slots, which I love, and on top of that, if you have a magical weapon that uses charges, so for example a magic missile, a wand of magic missile, you can use all the charges, and then you roll a d6, and on a 6, you don't expend the charges, which is so good. It gives you this ability to almost steal magic. And speaking of stealing magic, the amount of times that I play a rogue and I've gone in and found spell scrolls, been like, I can't use this, now has changed, because once you get up to this ability level, you can use spell scrolls. And the way that they decided to make it work makes no sense, is all you have to be able to do is roll a d20, make an arcana check, pass the DC, which is basically a 10 plus the spell's level, and you can use the spell. I really like the class groups. I think it's very interesting bringing and grouping them all in together and then giving them something from maybe 1 or 2 of the classes, so that way they all have it, such as expertise now being something that the ranger has. I'm looking forward to seeing the other groups and seeing what they get to share. I'm looking at you, Battlemaster, with all your maneuvers. I want the warriors to have access to all of that, including the ranger. Do these classes feel like they're missing something? Well, check out this video on the features that we've just got, and let's see how they all come together.